Hey, how's it going? And welcome to the Daily Dose. My name is JD. I'm one of the pastors here at our Vista campus, and I want to bring you the dose today. I'd have to say that one of the greatest privileges of being a pastor was getting to stand in front of both of my sons on their wedding day and officiate that ceremony. To look at your boy in the eye as his bride is walking down the aisle and to see that love and care and tenderness, man, second to none. And then to get to hear a new daughter-in-law make a vow and a promise that she would love your son for the rest of her life. And then to get to pray, to maybe be the first one to pray for them as a married couple and to ask God to protect them and give them everything it takes to keep loving each other. And then to give them the strength to love each other when life is easy and when they hit those storms of life. And we were promised right there in God's word that we're going to hit storms. Trouble's going to come. That's not an if, it's a when. And that's just true. It was about 6 months before my oldest son's wedding that he found himself up in Washington along Whatcom River in a waterfall and down on a knee after he'd sang a song and presented a ring, proposing to his soon-to-be fiance. Well, she said yes, and two families in different states celebrated like crazy. It was only maybe 2 weeks after that proposal that my new daughter-in-law-to-be's mother got a cancer diagnosis, and it was a stage 4 lung cancer, and she didn't have that long. And gosh, it was just the day before that they were out shopping for dresses, and now plans started changing. A wedding venue moved from outside to in. A schedule got pushed up by months. And they got a chance to see some answered prayer on that wedding day because a mom got to walk down an aisle. A mom got to see her gorgeous daughter in a beautiful wedding dress. A mom got to hear my son make vows to love and cherish her girl for the rest of his days. Now, that prayer got answered. But there were some prayers that didn't get answered because it was only 2 months after that wedding that the same family and friends were back in that same church celebrating the life of Shelley. It was a memorial service. And I watched my kids go through perhaps one of the strongest storms of life just 2 months into marriage. And how do you do that? We're going to face trials. We're going to face trouble. How do we stand? And I have to say another blessing in my life is now I'm learning from my kids. And I love that. And my brand new daughter-in-law in the midst of this journey decided to start a blog. And I want to read you something that she's written. She said, "How many of us have faced situations just too devastating and complicated to handle with your own strength? How many of you stared down a diagnosis or a loss or a heartbreak? How about you? What do we trust in when our moments of joy and celebration are punctured by sorrow and loss? Or more importantly, who do we trust in those moments?" And in the wake of my mom's devastating diagnosis, I understood there'd be sorrow, that there'd be grieving, but the enemy would not be victorious. God would be my good shepherd, and he would be my protector. And my daughter-in-law pointed me to John chapter 10, where Jesus said some words that I'm going to read you today, and I don't know what storm you have faced or are facing, but this might be the best anchor you'll hear today. Jesus says, "I'm the good shepherd, and the good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. He who's a hired hand and not a shepherd, he who does not own the sheep, he sees the wolf coming, and he leaves the sheep, and he flees. And the wolf snatches them, and he scatters them, and he flees because he's just a hired hand. He cares nothing about the sheep." But Jesus once again reminds us, "I'm the good shepherd. I know my own, and my own know me, and I lay down my life for the sheep." You see, Jesus has the title on your life and on mine. He owns us. He paid the price. He paid the full price. It's paid in full. And when the wolves of this life come for us, he would lay down his life for us. And very similar words would come in Joshua before the Israelites would cross the Jordan River, where they simply hear this, and I'll leave you with this today. Have I not commanded you, be strong and courageous? Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go.